I'm going to call to order this regular meeting of the Page County School Board.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yep.
Ms. Alger. Yeah. Mr. Goodwin.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Ford.
Yes.
All present.
Please pause for a minute of silence as we prepare for the meeting tonight. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Fox, do you have any agenda changes or additions?
I do not.
I have a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
With a motion by Ms. Alger and a second by Mr. Painter to approve the agenda.
Ms. Alger. Yes. Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Ford.
Yes.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to certify that personnel matters discussed in closed meeting in section 2.2-3711A1.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sullivan Smoot and a second by Dr. Painter to certify personnel matters discussed in closed session.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin.
Yes.
Ms. Alger. Yeah.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Ford.
Yes. Citizen comment. I'm going to read this before we go, so I just have to read it once. We do have some comments that are online that all the board members have read. They'll be posted with the minutes when they get posted. The Page County School Board welcomes citizen comment during regular meetings. School board members do not respond to public comment during a meeting. All comments should address a matter related to Page County Public Schools. The school board will not hear public comment that involves complaint about an individual staff member, personnel actions, or litigation, nor any comments related to an individual student-related matter, the disclosure of which would violate applicable confidentiality requirements. The school board expects that each speaker will be courteous, modeling for our students how one can respectfully agree or disagree with others' views. Speakers will address their comments to the entire school board and not to one individual board member, nor to the superintendent, a staff member, or the audience. Speakers will have 3 minutes to present their comments from the podium.
April Farm.
Hello. Having Mr. Harlow as our principal at Shenandoah Elementary School over the last 2 years has proven to be added benefit to our school and our community. The impact he has made can't be compiled into a singular email by one singular mother, but I will try. He has impacted everyone in the organization and affected so many lives that we can't even begin to be aware of them all. But I will try to encapsulate his effect on my family. I have 3 children currently in Shenandoah Elementary School, and my son Sterling used to be a 2nd grader, and he was having some issues at home, and as every teacher knows, that the home life affects the student's performance in the classroom as well. What impressed me the most was Mr. Harlow's willingness and relentless efforts to keep my son in the school building. He didn't want to have him at home for any type of reasoning to be outside of the education or outside of the fundamentals of the building. We routinely communicated my son's behaviors and appropriate disciplines. Sterling has formed a bond with Mr. Harlow through this tough year, and Sterling is now better than anything because of it. Sterling is now in the 3rd grade and is performing above and beyond expectations. My husband and I, have a daughter, Susie, who was impacted by the leadership team and Mr. Harlow's influence. She desperately needed to repeat pre-K, and I knew this as her mother and advocated for her. Mr. Harlow made me aware that the preschool course is grant funded and she was not able to repeat. He was sincere and empathetic for this, but we continued as procedure caused and followed the steps of having her evaluated for an IEP while in kindergarten. Thank God a spot opened in the pre-K classroom and Mr. Harlow assisted in the transition for my Susie to still obtain an IEP. The extra year in pre-K and dedication from all the teachers and staff involved set Susie up for success, and this kindergarten year with Miss Morris has proven to be a victory. Lastly, Slay Farney, my 5th grader, has been recognized for his great leadership strengths and kindness that he bestows. Mr. Harlow and other teachers recognized this and called me directly to ask if Slay could volunteer with the special education students. If Mr. Harlow was not sensitive to his students and engaging, he would not have seen the care that Slay is capable of sharing. Slay is a very smart young man, and with direction from his leaders, he will continue to grow and be molded into a strong community leader. Mr. Harlow has spent many hours this summer beautifying the school building and the grounds. He communicates with parents and volunteers all the time, and we all know the wonderful chimes he has added to the intercom system. These things that he has added has allowed the teachers, I feel, to have a much more involved time at work. They're smiling more. The kids are engaging more with the teachers. And we all know that if the kids are happy, is that
Thank
3
you.
minutes?
That's 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Andrea Coleman.
Okay, not your turn yet. All right, good evening, board members, Dr. Fox. Mark, Ben, and I are united in our purpose tonight. If you know anything about what's important to our family, it's the life we share, marked by commitment to our community. Mark and I hold unique roles as employees within the school system. We understand the consequences that we are likely to face for speaking out, and we are prepared for them. The past several weeks have brought challenges not only for me as a teacher at Shenandoah Elementary, but also as a parent. Ben and I have continued our journey at Shenandoah Elementary due to the dedication and leadership of Mr. Corey Harlow. Mr. Harlow has made Shenandoah a welcoming environment for students and families. He has provided clear communication and has always been willing to listen to input from all stakeholders. He has truly given our community a voice in what's best regarding the education of our children. Since Ben has been a student at Shenandoah, Mark and I have spent a fair amount of time in the office with Mr. Harlow. Ben is a very active 7-year-old who gets in trouble from time to time. Mr. Harlow has always done what he believes is best for Ben and the students at Shenandoah. We've never had to question his motive or the integrity behind any decision that he has made regarding Ben. Mr. Harlow's commitment to our children spans far beyond our school building. Mr. Harlow founded the Stanley Stingray swim team, providing the children in our community with a wonderful opportunity to engage in a new sport. Working in the summer months, he leaves his office Monday through Thursday to coach until at least 9 p.m. each evening. With Mr. Harlow out of the county, the future of this organization is unknown, and it is not an opportunity that our youth can afford to lose. Mr. Harlow exemplifies the true essence of servant leadership. One thing that I respect most about Mr. Harlow is that you are never behind him or beneath him, but beside him and even above him. Mark stood before you weeks ago asking that you put our children first and bring Mr. Harlow back. I'm here tonight to ask the same. Allow him to continue his work at Shenandoah Elementary. Put our children first. Understand that as parents, we appreciate his dedication to the well-being of our children. We support his drive and willingness to step up and ask hard questions. At the end of the day, we as parents are the greatest advocates for our children, and I can only hope that you are listening to us tonight as we fight for them. You ready?
Ben Palmer.
Got it.
It's not fair to Mr. Harlow to not be able to be principal at our school. Every time I see him, he makes me smile. He should be able to come back because he's the best principal in the world.
Whitney Sutherland.
Good evening. So this is the third time I've been down here. Sorry, my speech is not as good as tonight as it has been before. I just had surgery. But I am here again tonight to explain. As you all can see, we have a team at Shenandoah Elementary School that has never happened before. Our school has been so uproared and into a division that it is not fair for none of the kids that are sitting here or none of the kids that are at the school every single day. I do not think it is right that certain members in here have talked about this situation to staff at Springfield Elementary, where I have family that knows what's happened at our school. Sometimes I think people with job titles should step back and think about their job titles first and foremost. But as I stand here tonight, I'm asking you guys, before voting, think long and hard about the good that Mr. Corey Harlow has brought to our school, the dedication he has given to our school. And not one time has he ever turned his back on this child or any other child that has ever stepped foot in that building. If it was not for Mr. Harlow, my son here, he would have been thrown to the side and pushed right on through the school system. He would have never been given that opportunity to repeat pre-kindergarten. With his special education and his needs, they would have been ignored. I have a junior in high school, so I've dealt with Shenandoah Elementary. And over the years, the principals you all have had, none of them beat Mr. Harlow. There is another staff member that this child right here, that I would not have never been able to have got him to go and do the things he has done if it wouldn't have been for those two staff members. The discrimination that's been happening here recently with my child, that's another factor that I will be coming before the board in the next couple weeks over. But at this time, I do ask that y'all think about Mr. Harlow and the good that he has done for our school, the outpour of the work he has done. The division is not fair. It is not fair at all, and that's all I've got to say tonight. You can tell them what you want. Hey, you can do it or you watch my face. You don't want to. You can do it. Hey. You can say what you want. Okay? So due to his special needs, I want y'all to know he cries every morning going to school because Mr. Harlow is not there.
Kristen Harlow.
I am here tonight, and I'm sorry ahead of time. I woke up this morning without a voice hardly. I am here to express and share some positive experiences my 3 children that attend Shenandoah Elementary School and myself have had since my first oldest came to Shenandoah Elementary School, since Mr. Harlow's been there in the school year of 2021. So my first oldest son, he had trouble learning as well, just not getting along with others. And Mr. Harlow intervened and really stepped in and helped my son get to where he needed to be able to get along with other peers, and even gave me ways to coach and be a better parent in a way. And then my second oldest son came along in the picture. He's in first grade now, and my oldest son's in second, and my daughter's in preschool. And my second oldest son came along, and he had been impacted in the community through a outside school, a private school, where he was in preschool, and he did not like school at all. Mr. Harlow and all of us had intervened, and now he's a thriving first grader. He makes great grades. He is intelligent. He is doing what he needs to do. He gets up every morning wanting to go to school now. And now that Mr. Harlow's absence and another faculty member's absence, two of my kids that really haven't been close to these two have not wanted to go to school, as well as Braden as well, my oldest son. They don't want to get up and go to school anymore because now bullying has become along. It is not unity and not what it was when Mr. Harlow was there. He has always gave tips and always reached out to the parents, just as myself, and helped me become more involved with the school. He always keeps me involved with my children's educational needs, or if they're having any problems regarding getting along with others. Like, he's always on top of it. I'm never left out in the shadows. And he always makes sure that my children are put first and foremost, as well as my daughter. She has lost her best friend right now. She don't want to go to school. And I just really hope that y'all find it in your hearts and really put it in thought of putting our children first as a parent. Thank you.
Rebecca Shipley.
Sorry, I have the same thing with my throat. I had two kids in Page County. I have removed both out this coming year because of a lot of issues and non-compliance that has been brought forth to the Virginia Department of Education that we're still fighting. We've appealed. They have appealed and they've lost. But that's not the issue today. The issue today is I had a 5-year-old little girl in Shenandoah Elementary School last year. I had a 8-year-old in Luray that has been in Luray since she's been 3 years old. A lot of issues with the staff, a lot of non-compliances. The system needs fixed, guys. It needs fixed. I mean, both of my kids now are Riverbend, striving, doing awesome. The little girl that was pretty much told she had to go to Charterhouse or Minnick now knows 190 sight words, guys. You know, super proud of her. You know, the child that they said would not speak is now speaking. She's sentences. So proud. But the issue is, Mr. Harlow, your guy's statement states, the mission of Page County Public School is to provide an engaging, encouraging, empowering learning environment that promotes students' success. Where's it at? So I'm asking you guys to understand, Mr. Harlow, my 5-year-old went to his school. Out of all the schools you have in Page County, that would be the only school I would allow my children to come back to. He's wonderful, guys. He's wonderful. He stood up even for my other little girl. She was allowed, even when I was told that she had to either be put in Minnick or Charterhouse. You know, she was pretty much moved out of Page County. This was my options. So, of course, I jumped into homeschool her automatically until I can get her to Rockingham County because I have 2 homes. So I moved this child to Rockingham County. Mr. Harlow still allowed her into the school, you know, to be a part of her little sister's preschool class. You know, my little Aliana loved Mr. Harlow. He's a wonderful person, you know, and I wish you guys would see through our eyes as parents that, you know, it is sad that we have to move our kids out of y'all's areas to protect them. You know, just think about it, guys. You know, put Mr. Harlow, and look, I have 2 teachers standing here with me right now that my little girl was with, my 5-year-old that loved. I would have loved to kept her in Shenandoah this year, guys, but I had no choice. So I'm asking for you guys to consider and listen to the parents and listen to these teachers that's been here 20 to 30 years. Thank you for your time, guys.
Kara Beach.
Good evening, Central Office staff and school board office members. We'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak this evening on a topic that we feel has been and continues to negatively affect our entire community at Shenandoah Elementary School. Each one of us standing before you tonight has been negatively affected by the absence of both our administrator and support staff member, and we feel it is extremely beneficial for each of you to hear our statements as they are genuinely coming from the heart. We are here as a united front supporting important members of our community. Be determined to show those who make change to see the truth and to positively move forward as a community. So as we each speak, we hope you take into consideration our decision to take a stand for them. We are the ones that work with them daily. We see the evidence and we are confident it will be a tremendous setback and disservice to all involved at SES if jobs are not reinstated. Please clear your minds of all the negative things that you may have already heard prior to tonight and open up your ears and your heart to genuinely listen to, and most importantly, hear what we, the teachers, faculty, support staff, families, and students have to say about each one of them. We are Shenandoah. Strongly consider our input and request this evening. We ask that no recourse be taken on anyone who has chosen to speak on behalf of our administrator or our support staff members. We are only standing up for what we believe is just, and we teach our students to do that every single day. Please make the best decision for what our school needs as a whole. We thoroughly and wholeheartedly believe this is to bring our administrator and support staff back immediately. Let's get back to the way things were before all of this and focus on what matters most, which is the students at Shenandoah Elementary School and in Page County Public Schools. Our support staff member has dedicated her time to SES to working with special needs children and preschoolers. It is evident that she has excelled in fulfilling her responsibilities in both these roles, consistently demonstrating qualities such as patience, care, kindness, compassion, trust, and security toward every child she interacts with, not only in the classroom, but throughout the school. These are just a few examples of her remarkable qualities. Her former students continue to seek her out, whether it's for a warm smile, a softly spoken word of encouragement, or a comforting hug. And this is a common occurrence between our school environment and out in the community. She has gone above and beyond by voluntarily dedicating extra hours to assist our students, even going as far as purchasing clothes, shoes, blankets, and other essentials for those in need. As a preschool assistant, she is the embodiment of hard work and dedication. Day in and day out, she pours her heart and soul into creating a nurturing and enriching environment for our little learners. Her unwavering commitment to the children and their growth is truly commendable. Whether it's preparing engaging activities or going the extra mile to ensure every child feels safe and loved, she consistently goes above and beyond. She serves as a role model for both her colleagues and the children in her care, and we are fortunate to have such a hardworking paraprofessional who plays an invaluable role in shaping the early educational experiences of our young learners. Thank you.
Thanks, Vivian.
Good evening. Mr. Harlow is a shining example of a leader who combines love and charisma to create a thriving educational community. With a heart full of compassion and warm smile always at the ready, he greets every student, teacher, staff member, and parent with genuine care and enthusiasm. Mr. Harlow's presence is a beacon of positivity, fostering a school atmosphere where everyone feels valued and supported. Beyond his friendly demeanor, our principal is a visionary dedicated to providing the best possible education for our students. His love for the children is evident in every decision he makes, ensuring that every child receives the attention and resources they need to flourish. Corey is not just an administrator, but a loved figure inspiring both students and staff to reach their full potential. From the very beginning, our leader brought a ray of sunshine into everyone's day. Each morning, he greeted the children by name with a warm smile as they disembarked from the bus, playing cheerful Kids Bop music that set a positive tone for the day. During breakfast, he made a point to personally connect with students who required additional support. Now these youngsters are inquiring about the whereabouts of our principal and expressing a strong desire for his return. My kids included, my daughter, and I know I'm reading from this, but my daughter is a 5th grade student, and she has expressed to me that she misses him in that cafeteria, coming up to them and talking to them, speaking to them and calling them by name, just having a conversation. She loved that.
On a daily basis, he regularly entered classrooms, engaging with and offering encouragement to students. He initiated every day with virtual announcements filled with enthusiasm and excitement, fostering a sense of connection among all students with common goals and school-wide expectations. Through these announcements, he motivated them to strive for their best every day. Fridays were eagerly awaited due to the delightful hallway dance parties he organized. And my son is really missing that. Under his leadership, grade level meetings underwent a transformation, addressing a different topic each week and featuring links to videos, stories, activities, and suggested questions for discussion. This innovative approach was Corey's brainchild, and he made it a reality. The significance of building a strong sense of community within our school became evident and highly valued. Mr. Harlow effectively implemented a new behavior management and regulation program that brought about a remarkable transformation in student behavior throughout the building. Even our most challenging and vulnerable students learned to
30
navigate.
minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Brittany Young.
All students, without exception, grasp the importance of respect, nurturing positive character traits, regulating their social and emotional well-being, and managing conflicts. Mr. Harlow's profound impact on individual students remains highly evident and is truly remarkable. Among our students are several with severe and unique disabilities that previously struggled to function in a regular classroom setting. Requiring additional services, it was Mr. Harlow's who advocated on their behalf, affecting significant positive changes in their lives. Through his unwavering support, their world was transformed. Mr. Harlow also championed the implementation of specially designed instruction for these students, fundamentally altering their educational experiences and expanding their opportunities. With Mr. Harlow's guidance, their disciplinary issues underwent a positive transformation as these students began responding to constructive reinforcement and learned alternative behaviors to use when their emotions were high and they were not feeling calm and in control. What was once a challenge within the classroom environment had transformed into a situation where they resemble their peers, demonstrating calmness, focus, and daily learning, and knowing how to navigate difficult moments without reaching a point of no return. Additionally, Mr. Harlow faced another situation involving a student with autism whose father had reservations about them receiving services due to his negative special education experience as a child, in which he was separated from his peers. Through tireless effort, Mr. Harlow successfully facilitated the student's first ever parent conference and persuaded the father to accept the services. This enabled the child to receive the much needed supports required to progress and is now moving forward educationally. In yet another situation, Mr. Harlow extended his caring and dedicated approach to a student who had experienced sexual trauma and exhibited behavioral challenges as a result. Regular one-on-one interactions allowed him to help the student identify their emotions and choose alternative behaviors. Since Mr. Harlow's departure, the student has showed significantly increased struggles and continues to inquire about Mr. Harlow's whereabouts daily, highlighting the profound impact of Mr. Harlow's mentorship and support. Mr. Harlow nurtured meaningful relationships with these students, as well as many others, displaying a deep affection for each one and providing daily check-ins, especially with those facing the toughest challenges. He found innovative ways to involve them in weekly activities that made them feel valued and special, a testament to his outstanding commitment to their well-being and growth. On a quarterly basis, he meticulously orchestrated and arranged special student celebration days known as Mission and Action Days. During these events, students were recognized for their diligent efforts, received awards, enjoyed a PBIS rally featuring music and games, and participated in both club activities and school-wide community service projects. This privilege was earned through meeting teacher set goals, motivating students to strive for excellence. Thank you.
I'd just like to start with neither of them are criminals. We want them back in the building. They're the exact opposite. If you work with them day in and day out like we have, you know that they are truly angels that work with these kids. We all know that. Truly angels. I just had to say that before my time ran out. Under his leadership, student clubs were introduced, allowing students to select clubs aligned with their interests, facilitating interactions across grade levels. School spirits were reached at unprecedented heights. That was thanks to Mr. Harlow's innovations, his encouragement, and his enthusiastic backing. We successfully secured grants to update student reading materials, organized school-wide field trip to JMU's planetarium, and enhance the amazing courtyard that was dedicated to Miss Carolyn Knighton. If you guys haven't seen it, you should really check it out. It's amazing. I know Mr. Bell has. He was there. And it's all science-based. It's truly amazing. Mr. Harlow demonstrated remarkable creativity in devising enjoyable opportunities for students and families to come together over his time. He's generated genuine excitement. We've had events from back to school family fun nights. They've been very successful. The SRO nights, our trunk or treats, the talent show, the spelling bees, the spring carnival. We've had great parent support in all of these events. He's brought community back to Shenandoah. And I think they can all agree, community and family are coming back, and that's what we need. And he has done that. I've not seen this in the 11 years that I've been there, but he is bringing that back, and it is a wonderful feeling to have. He has boost academic achievement. He has introduced the concept of SOL Academy sessions, where identified tier 1, tier 2, and 3 students in grades 3 through 5 have received additional practice and support and preparation for the spring SOL exams. Mr. Harlow personally designed these plans, incorporating links to SOL practice resources, and distributed them to teachers and assistants weekly. He allocated a dedicated time each week to assist absent students with their homework with aids of assistance. That was each morning. It was set up. Additionally, he actively co-taught with all 9 3rd through 5th grade classrooms, providing small group instruction on strategic SOL test-taking strategies. Mr. Harlow also prioritized regular meetings with all grade levels, aiming to analyze student data, identifying specific needs, and collaborate as a team to address challenges faced by students who had not mastered certain concepts. He was deeply committed to being part of these discussions, understanding which students were struggling, and actively contributing to solutions. The outcome of his tireless efforts was that the students eagerly anticipated coming to school to learn, as SES became a place where they felt safe.
And adjournment.
I get extra credit for
In the course of dedicating time to visit classrooms, being fully present and building connections with the students, he continually sought out the positive aspects, those elements he wanted to see more of and share with others. Mr. Harlow consistently conveyed his enthusiasm to teachers by sending emails and informing them about what excited him in their class. His approach was optimistic and encouraging, and it had profound, meaningful, and motivating. Teachers put in tireless efforts every single day, often without due recognition, but under his leadership, they consistently valued and respected. Mr. Harlow dedicated himself to researching and creating materials to support and enhance the quality of instruction within our school, providing resources to help teachers experiment with new approaches. After benchmark testing, he invested his time and energy into analyzing student data, meticulously creating spreadsheets to illustrate student needs and guide instructional decisions. He also identified opportunities within the schedule for teachers and assistants to effectively implement small group instruction for accelerated learning. He embodied the essence of teamwork, viewing every member of the staff as a potential leader. He had remarkable ability to identify the strength in each teacher and inspire them to share their knowledge with others. His influence significantly contributed to the professional growth of our staff, creating an environment where we collectively honed our abilities to learn from one another. Moreover, he consistently challenged staff to set goals, embrace new ideas, and adopt mindsets that he believed would benefit our teachers. His inspiration led to 7 of our staff members to pursue further education, including me, enhancing their skills and motivating them to excel daily. Mr. Harlow is an exceptional role model, continuously seeking ways to enhance student learning. He set a high standard for teachers, dedicating personal time to explore research-based teaching strategies, techniques, and instructional practices. He would then distill this knowledge into a PowerPoint presentation delivered during our weekly data meeting. This practice encouraged teachers to continuously learn and critically evaluate the effectiveness of their current instructional methods. Corey had a unique ability to influence without imposing, consistently offering support, motivation, and encouragement. His intrinsic motivation to foster substantial improvement in student learning, teacher development, and the overall culture was clear. He was always willing to go the extra mile to achieve his goals to ensure that the necessary steps were taken. His unwavering commitment was evident, and he consistently followed through on his promises and offered assistance when required and needed. Under his leadership, teachers look forward to coming to work with genuine enthusiasm every day. This enthusiasm has been noticeably absent from our school for the past 6 weeks. I've been on family medical leave back due to a severe and catastrophic diving accident, and I can tell you that I feel the impact in Shenandoah County. While we continue to reach for the sake of our students, we sorely miss the person that Mr. Harlow brought to our community. Thank you.
Central Farm.
Good evening. Our school is currently facing a void, and we are eagerly awaiting the return of our dynamic leader. We believe it's important to emphasize that our administrator went to great lengths to instill confidence in us and reinforce the values of our school motto. We fostered a positive, unified, and determined atmosphere, and it was evident that we were making significant progress. Notably, we achieved 0 retention and 0 turnover last year, a remarkable feat that unfortunately went unrecognized. Our students are genuinely enthusiastic about coming to school, thanks to the welcoming and safe environment that our administrator and support staff member played a pivotal role in creating. Furthermore, our SOL scores were steadily on the rise, reflecting the dedication and hard work put in by our entire school community. Should an educator who wields such impactful and positive influence see their educational career terminated? Is it justifiable to remove him from the vision of the school that he personally constructed, therefore risking its deterioration? Everyone in this room knows as fact that nobody else can possibly fill his shoes or keep up his pace of improvement and accelerated growth. He stands as an exemplar, not a wrongdoer. Every choice and decision he makes consistently prioritizes the welfare of the students. He holds their best interests at heart. The children are left wondering about the absence of their hero, eagerly awaiting his return, all while questioning when or if they will see him again. Thank you.
Pauline Manzano.
Is it ethically sound to force Mr. Harlow out of our school system when he, on his own, holds the potential to elevate Page County's reputation? Imposing such a severe consequence on the professional careers of 2 individuals in their late 20s and early 30s due to an accusation and baseless rumors, it's excessive. This allegation lacks substantiated evidence, and it remains unfounded because these 2 individuals have consistently demonstrated their trustworthiness, their transparency, and their professionalism. The overwhelming majority of teachers believe strongly in Mr. Harlow's leadership, but they're afraid to speak out in fear of retaliation. If we're to consider being seen in the company of an employee, whether it's the opposite sex or not, whether it's a superior or not, outside of school, even when they're friends, as a lapse in professional judgment, that's considered to be a lapse of professional judgment, then how many of us have transgressed that boundary? Would such actions warrant termination for all of us? We're told to form relationships with each other within the division and yet punished when we form healthy relationships with our peers. What are the boundaries? What are the rules? Forming relationships is part of a work environment. Rather than imposing strict expectations, could we not acknowledge our mistakes and learn from them as we encourage our students to do? It's essential for staff members to cultivate healthy and respectful relationships, both within and outside the school environment. After all, life revolves around relationships. The strong bonds we work to establish within our school community were the foundation of our success at Shenandoah. Our teams felt connected. Our entire staff cared for one another, constantly providing support and leadership and encouragement. And these bonds motivated us, and they fostered healing, and they set us apart from the average school. Currently, that unity has been shattered, and division and tension permeates our school. Teachers are isolating themselves. Interactions are limited to grade levels, and even those interactions are strained. Brene Brown in Daring to Lead says that daring leaders work to make sure people can be themselves and feel a sense of belonging. This was text that was used in our professional development. Please give us back our daring leader. In order to fully heal, we urgently need these two individuals to return. If given the chance to return, they will readily overcome the damage to their reputations because they have nothing to hide. However, if they're not allowed to return, our fear is that teachers and faculty and staff members at Shenandoah may seek employment elsewhere or leave the field of education altogether. Feeling that Page County Public School system has failed to hear their colleagues.
Thank you.
We ask you why. Why would you choose to take these two exceptional men?
Good evening. Mr. Harlow brought an amazing opportunity to Page County. He founded the Stanley Stingray swim team. Mr. Harlow is an amazing leader for all of us here. He strives to push us to be the best that we can be at the abilities we have. He spends his time working hard for all of us, even if we realize it or not. He cares about every one of us in this building. The youth of Page County and the swim team is very grateful to have a leader like Mr. Harlow who cares about us as a swim team. He has opened so many doors for Page County that it's hard to begin where the doors close. We love what he's done for the community and for us youth. Who knows? One of us might go swim for college, and we're from Page County, and it's all because Mr. Harlow and the amazing, amazing swim team he founded. Thank you.
Megan Summers.
Good afternoon, school board and its members. I would like to share my outlook and feelings on the situation with this administrator and teacher's assistant. The administrator is a wonderful asset to Shenandoah Elementary, not only for the students, but the parents as well. There was many times last year that I knew that I could count on Mr. Harlow to support my daughter when Miss Smoot, the counselor, was unavailable to do so. Throughout the school year, I watched the staff at Shenandoah Elementary grow into a family that they hadn't been for as long as I can remember. Mind you, I was a student in Shenandoah Elementary from 2005. He looks at each and every student as an individual and encourages them to do better in every way possible. There's been some issues this school year that escalated pretty quickly due to his absence. As far as the teacher's assistant, she's a wonderful asset and a great mother. She had always went above and beyond for my daughter, as my daughter has emotional issues in the morning. Her and the administrator have always been the first to be able to calm my oldest daughter down throughout her emotional days. Miss Atkins is missed by many students. My nephew cries asking for her daily. I feel that both of them should have an open opportunity to present evidence, and not only present, but to defend themselves, as they have a personal life outside of Shenandoah Elementary. If they choose to go out in public with their families or friends, as long as it's not affecting their job performance and the positions at Shenandoah Elementary, it should be accepted. Imagine if you were to go out here and suspend or terminate every teacher, every staff member that went out in public or shared time together outside of Page County Public Schools. Our schools aren't properly staffed as is, then they wouldn't really have staff. I'm asking for all of you members to hear all of us in here today and make the best decision for Shenandoah Elementary and its community, in which that decision would be for both of these members to return immediately and resume the school year as the professionals they have always shown the students, staff, and community they are. As we are a community of positivity, unity, and determination, which was implemented by Corey Hartlow.
Nathan Sankey.
Advocate. It's a very interesting word. That's the fifth word I had for you folks here. Fifth word. Why am I here tonight? I should be home. I should be eating dinner with my kids. I shouldn't be playing patty cake with you folks. If I do my job tonight, each and every one of you will leave here as unhappy as I am and will understand why I'm so happy. I can be your advocate or your adversary. Those are my first words, Corey Hart. That should shake you. Those are my first words to you as well. I can be your advocate or I can be your adversary. I've said those words to our sheriff. It pains me speaking. I can be your advocate or your adversary. My first words to Corey Harlow. Am I a Corey Harlow fan? No. I'm here tonight about doing what's right. Not about what is in the book. The book doesn't matter. What matters is doing the right thing for our students. Do I always agree with Mr. Harlow? No. He and I butt heads. And that's fine. That's what it is. The reason we butt heads is because he's doing your dirty work. He's laying down the edict that you people have put down to the parents. And then he's taking my flack for it. Am I a Harlow fan? Am I a school board fan? Absolutely not. I don't trust you. I have a middle school. I have a kindergarten. I have a 2-year-old. Y'all will deal with me for the next 15 years. Merry Christmas. I should be the person you want to make happy. I shouldn't be here speaking to you and I'm angry. I shouldn't be angry. This should be a positive. I see your words, a successful environment. I look around, I don't see success. I see heartache and problems. I see a school board that has been manipulated and doesn't understand that they have been manipulated.
Thank you. 3 minutes.
Morgan Cameron.
Good evening. I'm the mother of 2 young boys in Shenandoah Elementary School. My 9-year-old has an extremely rare genetic disorder that, among many other symptoms, causes him to be very sensitive in certain areas of his life. School being one of the most sensitive, since I'm not able to be with him all day. He relies on Mr. Harlow to be there to turn his day around should it begin to go south. Parker relies on his people to be there day in and day out to help him. Mr. Harlow being among the most important. The other day, someone asked Parker to come trick-or-treating on Monday, and he said, I can't. I have to go to school. Mr. Harlow might come back. I'm not sure how much you know about the situation in full, but there are absolutely no facts or evidence surrounding the allegations made on these 2 employees. All we ask is that rather than going along with the recommendation to fire them, is that you hold a hearing to allow them to speak to you directly. You have an obligation to support those in the school system, meaning children, staff, and parents. Many of us have reached out with no replies. So we're not all here to annoy you because there has not been a fair chance given for our voices to be heard. It's not about what those in power may want. It's about what's best for our school. Please consider allowing them to be heard and plead their case. At 28 years old, termination would ruin Mr. Harlow's teaching career. These two employees are both among some of the most student-based leaders you could ever find. It would be such an injustice for us to lose either of them. There has never been a threat to any students, the school, the faculty. It's not right to let any accusations ruin their careers. I could go on and on about how much Mr. Harlow and his support staff mean to our school, but what's important right now is that you don't rip these people away from the students that deeply need them. We need our leader back. Please open your minds and give them a chance to prove to you what we in Shenandoah already know, and that's that these two are worth fighting for. Thank you.
So thank you all. You can either stay and watch the rest of the meeting, or you're welcome to go to finish out the rest of the agenda. You want to recess?
Yeah, recess.
Yeah. Ask for,
I move that we recess 5 minutes.
there's a motion and a second.
It's up to you.
I seconded.
Yeah. All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
There we go. Right, I'm gonna call us back to order after our recess. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
A motion by Mrs. Sullivan Smoot, a second by Mr. Painter to approve the consent agenda.
Dr. Painter. Yep. Mr. Goober.
Yes.
Ms. Alger.
Yeah.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smoot.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes. Human Resources and Business Operations update.
Yes,
Dr.
good evening,
Johnson?
members of the school board. Tonight, I asked Mr. Bell to share with you, I mentioned 2 weeks ago that we had been invited to an HR summit. Unfortunately, the night before, I got called out with a family emergency, and so Mr. Bell attended. So he's going to give you a quick update on some positive things from that. And then following Mr. Bell, Ms. Jeffries is going to share some things with you that have been going on in the schools recently.
Evening, board members. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the Region 4 HR Summit that I attended. And we had people from all the way from Arlington and Fairfax out towards Frederick and Shenandoah and Page, of course. So it was a good mix of school divisions. We had a couple of guest speakers, one from Microsoft who spoke about the effects of artificial intelligence on HR, and particularly with generating interview questions and rubrics for interviews. So there's a lot of powerful things that we can do with artificial intelligence to help the processes that we go through in HR. But I thought it was interesting that last point there. ChatGPT only knows what was on the internet in 2021. So if you're looking for up-to-date information and you're going to ask them, you may need to double check your sources on that. We had another guest speaker in the middle of the day from Upbeat talking about teacher retention and recruitment. They shared some statistics with us, but I thought it was interesting some of the more general concepts that they mentioned about a leadership improvement cycle, and those last three questions there in speaking with staff, some of the things that as administrators we can engage with our staff on. What can I do to support you? What can we do to support you? And then finally, what can you do to support you? I thought that was pretty powerful, and I made a note of that because I thought that's something very intriguing to share with our building administrators in terms of engaging with our staff. We were broken out into affinity groups, and as you can see, one of them is supposed to be highlighted yellow, but didn't work in PDF. There are a number of affinity groups. So basically you had to pick one group to go to. And if you know our HR department, any one of us could have gone to any one of these because we're so hands-on with all of these different areas. I put those up there just to remind everybody all of the different things that we have to get our hands into on a day-to-day basis between those of us that are working in HR. I went to the HR leadership affinity group, and there were some really good ideas there about professional development for our staff and utilizing the community college, building leadership capacity in others, both teachers moving to administration and school administrators moving to central office, and then thinking about a needs assessment. What does our staff need? And then remembering that school division HR is different from corporate HR, but there are things in corporate HR that we can utilize. So one of the suggestions that came out of that was work with the local SHRM chapter and be involved in that. We're good. In the afternoon, we got divided up into different hot topic sessions, and you could go to two of them. There's where we've got some highlighting there. So what I had to think about here was there's all these topics. Again, I could be in any of these and learn a lot, but particularly alternative paths to licensure. We are seeing so many more employees who are going into teaching who did not go to college to be a teacher. That's just the nature of how teaching is right now. There's the number of provisional licenses, for example. I did the math on that, so hopefully my percentage is correct. Based on the numbers that we got at this hot topic discussion, the number of provisional licenses issued each year by the Commonwealth of Virginia DOE has increased over 2,200% between 2015 and 2021. And I can almost assure you that from 2021 to 2023, that number has gone up even more. We're just seeing more and more of the provisional licenses, and that means more and more work on the HR and building admin side in supporting those new teachers. 16% of Virginia teachers are not fully licensed or teaching in field, and that's up from 6% a decade ago. So the needs and the availability of fully licensed teachers, that's increasing. And there's so many alternative programs, a lot of them that we're involved with, Grow Your Own, some programs that we have had in the past, like Teachers for Tomorrow at the high school level. And then this whole concept of teacher residency with a gradual release of responsibility is something new in the state this year, and something I'm trying to wrap my brain around how that could work. But a lot of this involves partnerships with colleges and universities, which we've done a pretty amazing job in getting some partnerships set up and growing this year as well. So that's a critical need going into the future, alternative paths to licensure. And then the other hot topic there was recruiting and retaining subs. Obviously, we can't bring subs on board fast enough to be in the classrooms. With our pay, which is $100 to $110 a day, we're kind of right in the middle of what everybody in our area is doing for that. But the needs of training and getting the accessibility was a big topic that we discussed. You know, what can we do in our training to revamp it and make it more available? But then something that's really come to my attention over the last year is the need for subs to be very IT knowledgeable compared to even 5 to 10 years ago. They are going in a lot of times into classrooms in our division with a need to get into doing attendance online and working in some instructional programs. So there's some needs that we're going to have to work with instruction and IT on to help really support our subs and make their experience and their work with our students the best that it can be. And then finally, I'm not going to run through all of the key insights on that last slide, but you know, some of the big important things that came out of our discussion is just how complex licensure requirements and process has been. It is not an instantaneous process. Growth and development of current staff is critical to sustaining success and allowing staff opportunities to demonstrate leadership. And not every teacher wants to be a building administrator. That was another key thing that came out there. Not everybody wants to go into building administration. A lot of them want to get into more on the instructional side and showing some leadership there, and not necessarily doing the whole breadth of what we consider school administration. I think those are the most important highlights there. And it was a very productive conference, and it was an excellent opportunity. One of the first times, I think, since the pandemic in 2020, I think the only time since then that we were able to all get together as a region in person. We've been doing it online, virtually for 3 years. It was really good to have some rich discussions in person.
Thank you, Mr.
Welcome.
Good evening, board members. Just wanted to give you some quick updates from the Nutritional Services Department. October is Farm to School Month. Virginia Farm to School Week was October 2nd through 6th. And we yet again participated in the Crunch Herd Round the Commonwealth, which occurred on October 5th. And this year, I just kind of gave you a listing of all of our farm to school partners. We again were able to expand our partnerships through our Farm to School Week, and a lot of these are ongoing partnerships that we are continuing throughout the school year. And then I just gave you some various pictures. Each of the pictures is one of our meals, and then it has the associated farm partners that we used. So we had a breakfast taco with local Gore sausage. We had a hero bar, which included corn grown by our Page County High School FFA. Also have lots of fresh produce from our Stony Run Greenhouse and L'Amazing Blessed Homestead, which is one of our newer farmer vendors that have been helping us out. We had a mac and cheese bar, which allowed us to use some local cheese, which we gained through cooperative purchasing through Willow Grove Farm Market. So even though Willow Grove isn't producing directly, we're trying to use local vendors to get that. We also had some local kielbasa for the first time made by Baker's Fresh Pork, which is out of the Connickville, Mount Jackson area. And lastly, we had steak and cheese, which had been asked for by our students last year, and we used some local Berner's beef, that fresh steak. And then, like I said, we did our crunch herd around the Commonwealth. We got lots of good participation from all of our student staff. Stanley put out apples to anyone coming to pick up or drop off a kid late, where they were able to participate in as well. We are excited to announce that next month, 2 days from now, in November, we're going to start something we're calling Farm to School Friday. And one Friday a month, we're going to really highlight some additional product that we're doing special for that Friday. And that's in addition to the other regularly done produce items that we do. And we're going to be using this new logo to call attention to those products. And then also this past month, we had 2 other special events. On the left, Springfield Elementary had grown tomatoes over the summer in their school garden. We then took those tomatoes and some basil from Stony Run Greenhouse and made fresh pizza sauce, and then made pizza with the pizza sauce for the students at Springfield Elementary. And then we, for the first time, celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month. We worked with our English language teacher to come up with a traditional Puerto Rican recipe of yellow rice with pigeon peas and pork. And that is got very good response from our students and will be something that we use on our menu. And then if you have any questions.
For all those pictures are actual trays?
They are all actual trays, yes, ma'am.
Are you finding each year as we're doing the farm to school week that we're getting more and more farmers interested?
It's still a lot of a work in progress in getting the interest of the farmers, but this past spring, I met the couple that run that L'Amazing Blessed Homestead, and that partnership has definitely been a great partnership for us all through summer and through the fall. And so I again, talk to anybody who has extra produce, even if it's a little bit. Like, I encourage you to reach out if you're looking for a home for that extra produce. Luray High School has some air gardens, and they've already reached out about providing us with the produce that's grown in their new air garden. So again, slowly but surely, we will continue to bring in or use that produce that's created locally, and especially unique when we can do it with produce that our students actually produced.
Thank you. Ms. Ryman, instructional update?
Good evening, board members. First off, this evening, I just wanted to give you a very brief update. We still are working on our all-in tutoring plan, as I've shared some with you. Our principals have been engaging their leadership teams. We're talking through different options. Most of our staffs are desiring to try to utilize our time during the day as much as possible because, as you all well know, a lot of our students are also very involved in after-school activities and different things, which can make that a little challenging. So in order to support as many students as possible, we really want to try to utilize time during the day as much as we can. And considering staff commitments as well, commitments to other things that they support, families, and so on. But so the only other thing I would really like to emphasize this evening is we have posted a part-time tutoring position on our website. We've got a couple applicants already. So I'm saying this really for our community out there and our folks that are interested in coming and supporting our students and have some time to offer. Right now, it's very flexible in terms of the number of hours. We want to work with those folks that are interested on which locations might work best. Please, my contact information is on the post if you want to email and have some questions, but please apply. The next thing I wanted to give you an update about is last meeting, we shared some information with you about Stop It, and one of the requests was some data. So this is a high-level overview because I also want to be very careful protecting the privacy given it is an anonymous reporting system, right? But to date this year, since we started using it, we've had 32 reports come in. They range within those categories there, like, for example, concerns about health and safety for others. Sometimes that's mental health. Sometimes that's physical safety. So students are using it for that. They're also sometimes seeking help for themselves, whether at times bullying, depression, anxiety, vaping, or substance abuse reports, or violence or anger that they're seeing and witnessing, whether that be at school or at home. So that tool has been beneficial for those folks that really they have something to report and they're not exactly sure how to go about and they need some help solving that problem. Stop It is also very good at kind of analyzing the way the report comes in, and if necessary and they feel like it rises to a particular level, they will work to call the school directly and or even call here at central office to try to get someone's attention as quickly as possible. So we're appreciative of that. And then the last thing I have to share with you this evening is in the same vein as some of the things that Mr. Bell shared. One of the partnerships that we have also going on with JMU is we're working with their VANTSP program. That stands for Virginia New Teacher Support Program. And that is essentially where the acronym they use is ECTs, Early Career Teachers. So not just first year, they might be in their second year, third year, wherever. So we worked with our principals to identify some staff that they felt like might be open to that support, because that's a big piece of it. It has to be someone who's willing to accept the coaching. We have 5 early career teachers participating. The program asks for a 3-to-1 ratio with a coach. So we then have 2 in-house veteran teachers who are serving as those coaches. And since we have 5, one has 3 ECTs and one has 2. And basically the goal is that those coaches receive professional development. They already had their first full day session a couple weekends ago on a Saturday. And they go out and meet with their ECT twice a month. It's not evaluative. This is not where they go down the hall and then tell the school administration, what they've seen or what's happening. This is genuinely just a collaborative working relationship between the coach and the ECT. And that will go on for the whole year. As part of this, JMU then in turn provides a stipend to the coaches for the year. They do on their side. So we're thankful to have those folks involved this year and hope to see that continue to grow. And questions about any of those things? A wide variety tonight.
The tutoring, what are the requirements?
So we have said high school diploma or equivalent. We've advertised it for $25 an hour for those with a 4-year degree and $15 an hour for those without. We've been reaching out to our local universities too. I sent a contact to some folks at JMU about that opportunity and trying to encourage some students to apply who might need something on winter break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Claims for payment, Ms. Seekers?
Yes, good evening, board members. You have been provided with the claim certification. With the operating fund is $165,903.96. Capital improvement fund, $121,508. Food service fund, $13,480.50 for total expenditures of $300,892.46. Along with that, you have the list of claims as well as the check register. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer those.
Make a motion that we approve the claims for payment as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Painter and a second by Dr. Painter to approve the claims for payment.
Mr. Goodwin? Yes.
Ms. Allen? Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter?
Yeah.
Ms. Sullivan?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Purchase orders over 10,000.
Yes, board members, we have one purchase order for your consideration this evening over 10,000. It is a countertop steamer that would be using nutritional services funds for $11,058. And my understanding, I believe this is for a project at Shenandoah Elementary School. And I'm sure if you have more questions, Ms. Jeffries can probably provide you those answers.
Make a motion that we approve POs for over $10,000.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Painter and a second by Mr. Bubler to approve the purchase order over 10,000.
Ms. Albert?
Yes.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter?
Yeah.
Mr. Bubler?
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Ford?
Yes, thank you. Board member discussion time?
Just, we're ending up our sports season, and I know for the Luray High School volleyball team, I think Summer made our former representative, she made first team all district, and JV won their district, and I think varsity plays tomorrow at Clark. Football's finishing up. That's a tough mental sport to play. Cross country's got people placing and continue to go, and cheer was competitive, so good season so far.
I just want to send condolences to the family of Stephanie Martz. She was an alumni of our school system and was very involved with cheer and dance and many other things. I had the pleasure to go to Staley Elementary with her back when I was a Panther. And yeah, she was, the light of our community. So some condolences to her family.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
We can't adjourn. Can we adjourn now? We gotta go back and closed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we can't adjourn.
I make
Pickles.
I make a motion that we go back into closed session.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Sullivan Smith, second by Ms. Albert.
Mr. Bubler?
Yes.
Ms. Albert?
Yeah.
Mr. Painter?
Yes.
Dr. Painter?
No.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Ford?
Yes.